This is James Mathers at Cinegear Expo 2018. I'm here with Kees van Oostrum, ASC. He's actually the president of the ASC and a very notable cinematographer. Kees, can you tell us a little bit about the ASC and
ASC,
the history
yes,
of it?
of course. Just for people that don't know, we are an old organization. Actually, next year we're going to be 100 years old.
Wow.
We started in 1919, believe it. So we are effectively the oldest organization in Hollywood of its kind, and probably in the world. I'm almost certain we are. It's a terrific organization. You know it. We have 385 members worldwide, and another 400 or 500 associate members. We're very active in education these days, doing our master classes, also our outreach programs. I think last 3 years we've reached out to about 5,000 students and 1,200 masterclass students. So
you've expanded that a lot under your leadership, I know.
Yeah.
And you've always been involved in training. As a matter of fact, we're at Cinegear Expo, and you had a lot to do with starting Cinegear Expo, didn't you?
I was a partner in the first 10 years of Cinegear Expo.
And you've been a member of Digital Cinema Society from practically
forever,
the beginning.
Yeah.
You've been out and helped us, spoke to us before, and we certainly appreciate that. Tell us about your cinematography career.
Well, I've done a fair amount of movies. I think sometimes I go to IMDb and I see a number like close to 90 projects, which is kind of interesting.
You're not that old. How could you fit that
No,
many
I'm not
in?
that old. It's not about age. It's just about, you look back and you go like, wow, yeah, I've been in many places. I just finished a run on a series for 4.5 years, and that was very interesting and nice, and it's over. And I'm looking forward now to go back to long form, 2 hours and individual dramas, not hooking up to the train for 4 years anymore at this point.
Let's talk about technology, if you don't mind. We're seeing a lot of large sensors here at the show, and that means that everybody has to get large sensor coverage on their lenses. And there's just, as always, there's a lot of change.
Yeah.
What are your feelings about that?
Well, it's interesting you say that. Of course, the large format is a very interesting development, but more than ever, if you look back over the last 20 years, a new thing comes out, and it comes out in such force. Like you say, you see probably already 8 different lens sets for full format that weren't even in existence last year. And we go back to the era where you had a set of lenses and 10 years later another set of lenses came out. It's amazing what's going on in technology, how quickly it responds and it tries to service the market. So in that way it's very exciting. Large format is exciting. I don't quite yet know where it will be applicable in large numbers. I mean, yes, we all love the image that you get from it, but not all of our productions will be able to afford the post on it, and also the price that obviously will be paid for the initial equipment. So,
and I feel sorry for the camera assistants having to
we
try
all
to
do
pull
feel
focus.
sorry. No, it's very tough, and it's actually interesting you mentioned that, because I've been involved with a couple of projects where the focus issues were not small, and what it does is you can't really see focus on a small monitor anymore. And today 90% of us work off the monitor for focus.
No optical viewfinders anymore.
And you need to give them a 24-inch monitor, to be honest with you. So that's changing too. But we need to adapt, because the bar is being raised in some of this stuff.
But it's fun too. I mean, we have so many choices. How do you feel about LED lights? That's another area that's really exploding.
It's I think it already has exploded and has developed into a very stable and sort of an exclusive light source to use on set. I remember we had an interview, was it 4 years ago, 5 years ago? And we were at the brink of this a little bit more, and there were quite a few issues as far as color and the stability of the lights.
But I'm finding it's getting a lot better.
Oh, it's terrific. I mean, to be honest with you, I use probably only LEDs anymore, except for the occasional HMI and the very small tungsten here and there. I mean, there's so much variety in the LED lights today. There's so much you can do with it. It's so much easier on us because of the cabling, the power usage, and all of this other stuff, that it's obviously here to stay, and it is staying, and we're using it to the fullest extent at the moment. Yeah.
What do you see for the future?
Boy, I don't know. I think it's funny you say that. I think where the future might lie, and it's not even close yet, is if we can get away from the physics of optical. That will be welcome, because with the large format, what comes is the size of the lenses. And I'm not so much talking about the primes. That you can mitigate that, and it's actually quite interesting how they make them relatively very small. But zoom lenses are a problem on the large format because, they get, if you want a reasonable speed on the lens, they get huge. And they basically, what we're used to in Super 35, if you want to replicate that right now in large format, it would be impossible. So we have to find a way around it at the moment. And as far as the future is concerned, I've read some articles about how the future of optics can be manipulated in a different way, physically than we have done so far. And I think if that turns the corner and we don't have to use the large lens elements to get to the large field, I think that will be a breakthrough, and eventually that will happen.
Come back next year to Cine Gear Expo and they'll probably have it.
Let's say 10 years, maybe we're there. It's a while away. But in the meantime, yes, we see a lot of new optics in the market. It's very exciting. I mean, as you understand, optics have become sort of the next thing after the camera, or if not even more important these days. And there's a lot of activity, both in rehousing the old ones and, of course, designing new ones, which is exciting to see.
I think you can, get pretty much any top quality camera to look pretty much the same nowadays.
But I think that's the case, yeah.
But you make your mark as a cinematographer with your lens choices.
The lens is, I sometimes describe it as the last paintbrush that we have in our hand, That's
well said.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Kees.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.